Alright, guys. We all know what today was. You can see what's in the title. But I really gotta talk about this, okay? Here's what happened. I went to Walden Mall with my mom this morning because we were going there to take our walk and everything, and I see this big long line of people waiting outside because they were going to get this new iPhone 6, okay? And now here's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like, just how long have these people been waiting out here for this? I'm like, this is like where it bothers me because I'm like, okay, you're all waiting outside for something. And I'm like, you're waiting in line for a cell phone. Wow, that's really amazing to do, isn't it? And I just can't believe it. I mean, some of these people that were in line, okay, they had their children with them. Mind you, today's a school day, and some of them were definitely old enough to be in school. They literally had them outside. Some of them had strollers out there, so you knew some of them had babies or whatever. And I'm like, this is a cell phone, people. Why are you doing this? You can come here anytime you want, get this phone anytime afterwards, but no, it has to be on release day. You gotta wait all these ridiculous hours outside, only in any weather or temperature as far as I'm concerned, just to get a cell phone. And I guarantee you this, okay? A lot of people who are getting these devices probably already have some kind of phone, whether it be a flip phone, an iPhone, something from Samsung, whatever. I'm sure they work just fine. But no, 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 no. We can't have those because they're not the newest thing. They don't have that magical 6 on them. And it just gets me so annoyed when people are waiting on these long lines for X amount of days or time, whatever, for these kinds of devices. There was one article I read earlier today that really took the cake, and all I could do was just shake my head. I couldn't believe how stupid he was. I'll throw a link in the video description for you so you can check it out whenever you want. And now, just, here's what I want to get at. It's a phone, people. The device you currently have probably does exactly what this one is going to do. But the only difference is it has a larger screen, and like, ooh, that's fascinating, right? Let alone the fact that it can't even probably fit in your pocket as well anymore. I just don't understand these people. I'm like, you have this device, okay? Can you call your family and friends? Can you text with them? If it can do both of those, you don't need the iPhone 6. You're probably fine exactly with what you have. But like once again, no, it's this is too old now. We got to have that magical 6 on it. And this is, I don't want to go too far off track here, but this is part of the problem with people today. They keep buying all these things that they really seriously don't need. They really don't need them, and they complain about not having, a lot of money or whatever. This is probably one of the reasons why. And it's like, let me give you an example of something here. I got my first phone in 2004, back when I was 16 years old, and I got it changed in November of 2009 because it was on its way out. And it was another flip phone because I didn't care about it. I still don't really care about it, but I'll get to that later. In November of 2009, I got another flip phone because, like I said, my older one was on its way out. But setting aside the fact that this is a different kind of phone, I didn't wait in any lines for it for a huge amount of days. I was home for Thanksgiving break. I think my dad had some kind of new plan. I can't even remember what. And we were like, all right. So we go to the Verizon store. We're there for maybe an hour or so just to pick out the phone, have them transfer, all the contacts over to the new one. Bam, we were out of there. That's all it took. So we spent maybe an hour trying to, if we didn't have to move contacts over or whatever, it probably would have been like half an hour, if that. And then and it was March of this year where I actually got the iPhone 5C. And the reason I got that was because my other flip phone was on its way out, and my dad had some kind of or Verizon offered my dad some kind of deal with the iPhone. I can't remember what it was. It was back in March of this year, but and and again, it wasn't the newest thing, but we didn't wait on any lines. We were once again in the store for maybe an hour, and then guess what? We got out. We didn't do these stupid things where we wait in line for X amount of days. I'm sorry I keep repeating that, but I don't know how else to phrase that. For a phone. Maybe one of the benefits I can give this iPhone that I have is that I can Skype with my friends, but that's about it. I don't download like 20 different apps in one day where I'm only going to use probably 4 of them. And it reminds me of Black Friday almost. What? Okay, where am I going with this? Hold on. It's like all the time you're spending in these lines, you could be doing so much else with yourself instead of just sitting outside by all these people who some of them are probably sick, so you're probably going to catch a cold or something, and just like waste your time with it. And there was a point I wanted to make here. It was basically along the lines of, like, the stuff people wait for is just ridiculous. You have people waiting in line for gaming consoles. You have people waiting in line for, I don't know, maybe television sets, or I don't even know if people wait in line for the newest Apple computer. I wouldn't put it past them, but I don't know if people do that. And I mean, what I want to stress on now is, like I was saying before, your current device probably does exactly what this new one is going to do. The only difference is the screen probably isn't as large. So you're just wasting your money. But I mean, that doesn't matter because they can just keep spending, right? And the constant nagging of some people about these things is just really, it really gets on my nerves. I know back when I was still on that last flip phone, people were telling me left and right I should get the iPhone. I guess the iPhone 5 was the newest thing at the time. And I'm just like, why? Like, why? Like, what am I missing? What is my phone not doing that's making my life just so miserable that I can't live without the iPhone? And it really infuriates me sometimes with the way that just some of these people are always nagging me about it. And even now, some people are like, well, you should get the iPhone 6. I'm like, I've had this iPhone 5C since March, okay? That's about 6 months. I'm not going to switch my phone every 6 months, okay? As long as it keeps working and makes calls, I'm keeping it. I'm not going to keep spending $800, however much it costs, every 6 months. That's just a waste of money, and it's nothing beneficial to me. I can still do exactly the same stuff on my current device that you can do on your new one, but, and I'm like, what am I missing? That magical 6? Is it really that important? And like I said, like I said earlier, this reminds me of Black Friday because, I mean, it's definitely not as severe because you don't really hear much about people getting trampled over stuff like this. But it's just a huge waste of time for people who just gotta have something when they don't need it. Whether it be like, one of those, like I said, one of those Xbox Ones or those PS4s, those crappy consoles, or, or like, like the newest 85-inch CRT, wow, a new 85-inch LCD TV that it's like, ooh, gotta have this, even though I don't have the room for it, I gotta have it. And then you probably have all these people in these stores when they get these phones, probably like, taking like all those selfies, and you got those girls who are like OMG, here's like my first new selfie on like my iPhone 6, this is like totally cool. I'm like, you look like an idiot when you do that. You just... the people with these new devices today are just insane. I mean, I've even had people in my family, I won't disclose who they are, who are just saying, you should get it. I'm like, again, I've had this phone for 6 months. It works. It does what it's supposed to. I don't need it. And I don't know what it takes to get them to finally realize for them to give up. There are so many times where they keep nagging me about it, and I'm ready to just yell right at them to get them to stop. If that's what it takes to get them to stop, I'm going to do it. I don't know how many times it takes them to realize that I am perfectly fine with what I have. I'm not missing out on anything. Can't you just accept that and move on with your life? That would make it so much easier. And, just these people. I mean, God, for a cell phone, for crying out loud. And I gotta be honest with you, the battery life on these iPhones, they suck, okay? Because the battery life on the flip phones that I have, they lasted for several days before needing to be recharged. This one will last like maybe 2 or 3 days at most. So, they're seriously inferior in that regard. Ah, man. So, check out that article when you want to, okay? Because you're really going to see just how ridiculous some people are with this. And people just got to realize that there is nothing awesome about getting the newest thing. Stick with what you have until it legit does not work anymore. Then maybe you can get something new. With how crappy everything is today, because everything's made in China, it's not really surprising if it breaks down within a year, but some things magically don't. But, this is the problem with people. They are so greedy, really. They just gotta have every newest thing that's out there, whether it be, here I go again, whether it be a TV, an iPhone, a car even. I mean, cars are freaking expensive nowadays, especially with all these like, 25 features they put onto them. And I mean, it's like, these people can just be doing so much more than wasting all this time in line for a device that really just isn't that special. Or just isn't really that great. So it has a bigger screen, a big deal. My flip phone used to fit a lot better in my pockets than this iPhone does, I can tell you that much. And I mean, these iPhones aren't the most durable thing. I had to get a case for it because I didn't want it breaking. And I mean, I dropped my flip phone maybe 4 times, never a scratch on it, the screen never broke. These things, if you don't have this case and you drop it on the ground, forget it. You're going to get like spiderweb cracks all over these screens. It's ridiculous. And then again, Apple's products aren't what they used to be. They sure as hell aren't as well built as they used to be. I can speak for that in many cases, but I'll save that for another time if I ever do talk about it. People amaze me, just the stupidity of people today is just really surprising. Well, no, I shouldn't say surprising. It's too common nowadays, sadly, but nowadays I just kind of shrug it off because it's like, what am I supposed to expect? That's a rant for you guys, okay? I don't know what else to add to this other than I end up just repeating myself, okay? But seriously, just the stupidity of these guys who just have to have the newest thing and wait on these lines for a long time for such a stupid device, or stupidly for a device, is just amazing. So, there you have it. You obviously know I'm not getting this iPhone 6. I guess you figured that part out, right? And that's basically it, guys, alright? I hope you enjoyed this video, and well, I guess that's it, alright? See ya.